Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. This is Seeking Alexandria. And guys, today I am so nervous, but also so excited. Before I get into the video, I want to mention if you missed this video right here, I will go ahead and link for you. I just got done filming the full face of drugstore makeup I never tested, which will be right up here for you if you want to check it out when this video is over. I went through in my bins and I dug around. I found a bunch of drugstore makeup I had never played with, and I created this, and it was really fun to get to sit down and play around with makeup that already exists, other people love, I used to love, and just kind of see how it all goes together. Now, moving into today's video, I am excited and nervous because this is the first tag video I have ever done. I wasn't tagged to do it specifically. I saw Jen Loves Reviews, her video, and I'll leave it linked down below. And it really got me thinking about like my answers to these questions. And I have never done a video like this, and I thought it would be really cool to sit down and talk about it because I like that the questions in this tag specifically, they go deeper than just like, what's your favorite eyeshadow brush? And like, what's your favorite palette? Like, it's very driven towards the actual consumerism behind makeup. And I don't know, I really liked the dynamic and the questions that were asked. So I wanted to sit down and do them. You guys can let me know down below if you like these types of videos. I personally, now that I've been on YouTube for going on 3 years, wow, I'm getting old. I'm really into this style lately. And I don't know if it's just me. I really love like talky, chatty type videos. And I wanted to do one. So let's go ahead and start off here, obviously, with question one, like where you're supposed to start. And they just come right in, like it's a banger. First one, hot off the presses. How much do you spend on makeup a month, a year? Yeah. So for me, this question is actually where it all gets started as far as my like delving into the questions, because I can't specifically answer that. And there's multiple reasons. So one of the things that Jen did in her video that I really appreciated is she said, okay, well, I don't know what I spend, but I'm this status at Sephora, I'm this status at Ulta, and I spend money at other places. So for me, I can answer it in, I don't shop at Sephora, and it's a long story. I've never publicly really talked about it on my channel, but the long and short of it is I don't shop at Sephora. If I do, it is a very, 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 very rare occurrence. So I'm nothing at Sephora, but I am a diamond member at Ulta, and I don't know what the like threshold is for that. But when it comes to shopping at Ulta, I love it because they have everything and their rewards are amazing. So it isn't just like I spent all that money to get diamond on makeup. I'm diamond because that's where I buy not only my makeup, but I buy everything from hair care and nails and, you know, my polishes, my removers, even razors, face wipes, makeup wipes, literally anything you can think of. I bought like even my hair tools and appliances from there. So I do shop there. I am diamond status, but I also buy literally everything that my bathroom needs, my mom's bathroom, you know, again, like hair, shampoo, that kind of stuff, all of it. So keep that in mind. But I think for me, what really got me going with this question and the reason it really got my wheels turning is because in the year 2019, I'm never going to say like, oh, my spending got like crazy out of control, because I don't think that it ever was out of control. But I do think for a while it was very much so about what was new. And I forgot that there are so many things that I used to love. And I got caught up in that cycle. The goal with this is to go through and be able to not so much hold myself accountable, but know that I can do better. Like I can do better as not just a influencer on the internet, but I can do better as someone like a 30-year-old female in real life that it doesn't need to be driven by so much consumer product. And I don't need to be driven by gimmicky like ad campaigns or by, you know, the newest tool or the this or that. Like I don't need to be driven by that. And I have more to offer my subscribers than that. And I think going into 2020, that's been one of the biggest things I've realized is that I, as a person for a long time, have kind of relied on not my personality. I've relied on new releases and new this and new that to draw people in. And yes, on YouTube, that's the way it works. But even for my channel, I always felt like no one would want to watch me or care about me if I wasn't constantly doing like what was new, what was hot, what was this. And I just don't want to be that person. I want to be someone that's able to rely on her and you liking me and us having that relationship and there being just more to us than like the surface level stuff. So for me, I think this question meant a lot because it wasn't about the number. It was about all that stuff around it. So my answer to number one is not really a direct answer, which I apologize for if you're like, if that's what you were, you know, looking for. But for me, it was just so much more than that. And I'm grateful for the fact that I'm at an age and a time in my life where I could actually sit down and like be thorough and be thought out and be real with myself. Like that means a lot. And then to be able to do that with an internet full of people, I just think is amazing. So question number 2, just to keep things rolling here, is do you ever feel guilty about how much you spend on makeup? And I think the long and short of it, now in my current headspace is no. I don't, because I feel like now I have my head like buckled on straight and I feel like a very different person. You guys know this. I went to Colorado recently and a lot about like the way I think and the way I view myself has changed. So I don't feel guilty. If you would have asked me this question maybe 6-8 months ago, I don't think I would have felt guilty. I think I would have felt overwhelmed. And the fact that I felt overwhelmed by consumer-driven product is insane to me, which is one of the reasons I'm so glad that I like had time to change my perspective on this. So to answer the question, I don't feel guilty. I feel more in control. I feel happier, and I feel like the purchases that I'm making now better exemplify me. They are more grounded than they've ever been, and they are very they're very specific, and I'm glad for that. I'm very glad for where my headspace is right now in terms of it, and I don't feel guilty, which is an amazing feeling. Tiny story though, for those of you that don't or haven't been here forever, one of my main goals in my life, like whether it's, you know, in the next 5 years or in the next 50 years, I don't care, anytime before I die, one of my biggest goals in life is to open and operate a soup kitchen or a food bank or something like that, where I can feed people that need it, you know, impoverished, whether that is homeless or just a place, because, and you know, just because you're not homeless doesn't mean you don't need help buying food, you know what I mean? Like, it's expensive, and I've always wanted a soup kitchen or a place where people knew that they could go judgment free and eat, because at the very least everyone should be able to eat, and it's something that's really important to me, and I'm not gonna cry. But it's something that's really important to me. And for the longest part of my life, I had a really difficult time allocating money toward myself at all. Like, I had a really hard time spending money for me, because I always would think in the back of my head, like, you shouldn't spend that $5 to go out to the movies, or $7 or whatever. You shouldn't go to the movies because you could like take that money and save it. You shouldn't do this because you don't deserve that money. Like, somebody else deserves it. And for some reason, for a large period of time in my life, the living that I was supposed to do became me living for this goal and this outcome that wasn't realistic. You know, at the end of the day, I still have to know that I lived my life and that I was able to accomplish my goals. So I think for me, it's been a pendulum of, I at one point in my life didn't think that I deserved anything, and I felt guilty spending money for anything. Like, it could have been gas for my car, food, clothing, shelter, didn't matter. I felt guilty spending my own money for me. And then it kind of swang over here where I was like, it's okay, I'm buying makeup for a channel, you know, all of that we kind of run through. It's okay to accomplish your goals. And now I'm more so on the backswing of, I don't feel guilty. I feel in control. I feel specific. I feel like I don't know, I feel good. So no, to answer the question, I don't think I feel guilty. I think that I feel more on track to accomplish one of my biggest goals that I've ever had, ever. More so now going into 2020 than I ever have in my life. So no, I think I don't. Now, going into question 3, do you purchase or keep items simply because they are limited edition? I would have to say the long and short of this is no. There were a couple of products that I thought would be kind of cool. For example, Becca did like their limited edition Year of the Pig highlight, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, the pan press is great. And then I realized, literally, you're gonna wipe over top of it, it's gonna go away. Who cares? Like, for me, I look at limited edition and all that kind of stuff as such a marketing gimmick. And because when I was going to go to college, I was really into marketing, and like I used to look at it and kind of study it in my off time. Like, when I wasn't going to school, anything like that, I just thought it was interesting to study magazines and marketing forums and stuff like that, and just learn what I could off the internet. And for me, when I look at a lot of marketing campaigns, I learned that that limited edition thing is literally just that. It's designed to drive someone towards a product, designed to funnel purchasing toward a product that otherwise they don't think will sell, or they don't think it'll sell as well, or they won't be able to move these units or whatever. And half the time, if it sells really well, they make it permanent anyways. And if it doesn't, it's like, do I really need it? No. So for me, no. The answer is I don't feel really driven by it much at all. Yeah, no, not really. Would you be willing to pay more money for a sold out product online? That's a tough one because I'm not going to say never because I feel like I did at one time, but I don't remember what it was. It was before, like it was years ago, before the counterfeit trend and like all of that was going on. I feel like I did, but I can't remember. And if I'm just thinking like current day Paige, would I now? You know, I still don't want to say no because like I keep going back to the Jeffree and Shane collab. I'm a big Shane Dawson fan. And I ask myself like, okay, if the palette is X amount, like would you have paid more for it online, this, that? And I don't think I would have personally, but I also wouldn't judge someone if they did because I think everyone's reason or motivation for purchasing is different. But for me, would I be, you know what? I guess I think I would be able, or I would be willing to. So I think for me, my answer is it depends on the product. It depends on if it's something that I'm like die hard, have to have, like it's something that I truly believe will be life changing, or if it's something that I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm into it. I want it, but if I can't get it, it's okay. So I guess it would depend, but I would say 95% no, 5% I'm going to leave that window open for a potential yes. Do you wish you could spend more or less? And here's my answer for that. I personally think that it would be cool if I could spend less on makeup just because I am a smaller channel and we have to buy so much to have stuff to review and talk about and test formulas and all of that. But I do think it's very important to have a monetary tie to the stuff that you are reviewing. For example, I think that there are not all channels, but I think some larger channels, that are, you know, they receive a ton of PR and like everything that they get is blatantly PR. I think that that's a problem because I think you can't accurately review makeup that you don't have a monetary tie to. For example, you can pick up this, this is a great example actually, the Tatcha Silk Canvas. You can pick this up and say, oh wow, it's a great primer. It's the best I've ever used. I absolutely love it. I can't imagine not having it, as someone who received it for free. Whereas the next person that comes along is not going to be receiving it for free. They'll have to pay that like $46 or whatever for this product. Now, is it going to have the same value to them as that $46 would, which is potentially the money that they use to get them to and from work? Like that's their gas money for the week or that's their grocery budget for the week or whatever. So I do think it's very important. Like, I mean, very important. I was just talking to a friend about this. I think that without the monetary aspect of your channel, I don't think that it's nearly as reliable for me personally. When I look at someone and I look at what they review and I look at what they talk about, it is very important to me that they spend their own money on product. It's important to me that they spend their own tangible dollars on something that they review. Not because I want them to spend money, not because I don't want them to receive PR, but because I just think it's important to have that tie to something. And I know that opinion is different for everyone, but for me as a consumer, before I started my channel, there were certain people that when I watched their reviews or when I watched their channel, I would have a very different view and opinion than others. And I can tell you as a consumer, again, before I started my channel, it was very, very, very important to me to watch people that did not receive all PR because I just felt like they actually spent that money. They actually gave their time to go to work. They worked their butts off to earn this money, and then they traded that money for this product. So essentially they worked their butt off at work to earn this product. And that for me makes a big difference just as a person, as a consumer. And so I can say, yes, I would like to spend less, which I would because I'm a smaller channel. I still don't think it's ever advantageous to have a channel that receives all PR and only reviews what they don't pay for. And that's just me. I know that there are channels out there that you can trust their opinion 100% regardless. And every consumer has to decide that for themselves. You know, if you trust this person, if you don't, if this, that, whatever. That's completely on every individual person. And I'm never going to sit here and tell you what you should or shouldn't do or who you should and shouldn't trust. But for me, I just think that makes a big difference because in my personal life, that makes a big difference, if that makes sense. Do you feel compelled to buy something when you see it in someone else's collection? I would say if it's their general collection, no. Like, hey, I have all these bins full of makeup. No. If it's in someone's favorites, I'll give it a second look, like I'll consider it, but it depends on the person, their skin type, and what type of product it is for me personally, because there are some products that I know I'm incredibly specific on and other products that I have a little bit more wiggle room. When it comes to, like, let's say a primer. Primers, I'll be a little bit more like, oh, what do you have to say about that one? Or eyeshadow. What did she like or not like about that? Like, I'll kind of feel out the situation. Versus when someone will be like, oh my God, you have to have this, I can't even think of anything off the top of my head, like this matte liquid lipstick or something. I know that's actually a good example because I know that my requirements for a matte liquid lipstick are incredibly finite. I know what they have to be like. So if you tell me, hey, you should try this matte liquid lipstick because it's really good, I'm gonna be like, I don't know about that. But if you tell me, hey, you should try this matte liquid lipstick because it's very similar to the Jeffree Star Cosmetics formula, then that's a different story because I know that formula, I know the consistency, and I know how much I like it. Same with glosses. Hey, you should try this gloss, it's shiny. Don't know how I feel about that. But hey, you should try this gloss, it's really amazing. It's very similar to the Lunar Beauty or the Fenty formula. Now I'm listening because those are areas that I'm very specific and very finite on. So it just depends. It depends for me what it is, what collection, and all that kind of stuff. Do you buy more during the holidays? I would actually venture to say I buy less makeup during the holidays, just as far as like general makeup collection. And it's more so because I feel like this is the time of year with certain brands. I've seen it with like Tarte and Too Faced, holiday collections. And I know this isn't specific to that. The question isn't, but their holiday collections for me, it can be so hit or miss. And I don't like that around the holidays. I feel like we experience a lot more consumerism, a lot more waste. Not only that, but then the products aren't as good, again, from like these other companies. And I would say for me, no, I actually probably spend less during the holidays. And this time of year, I try harder to focus on like decorating the Christmas tree with my mom or building a gingerbread house or cleaning. I don't know, stuff like that. And I know that that's probably just because I'm like 30 and 97 years old in my inner heart and being and soul. But yeah, for me, I don't think so. No, I'd say that's a no. Have you ever hidden a makeup purchase from family or friends? No, not that I can think of. I'm on the internet, so I pretty much share everything openly out here, and there's nothing I can think of in my head that no. Not to mention, I don't think my family would care at all. Like, at all what makeup I purchase. But yeah, no. Do you have more than 10 products in your collection that you have not used in over a month? Oh, absolutely. Incredibly wasteful, incredibly sad. Absolutely, I do. That's part of this whole, like, I'm changing and I'm changing the way that I do and view my channel. I'm big into makeup that I haven't used in a long time. Shop My Stash, makeup I used to love, like stuff like that I'm just really, really hyper focused on right now, and making sure that I can cycle back through. And if it's a product that I loved, at the very least, why the hell am I not using it? Like, making sure that I focus on it more because that's sad. So yes, I do, and I'm working to change that. Have you ever been pressured to purchase something you could not afford or did not need? I would definitely say there have been a lot of times I bought stuff I don't need. Like, do I really need 90% of what I have? Probably not. But have I ever felt pressured? No. If anything, the closest I would say that I've ever come to this would be feeling pressured, quote unquote, into purchasing like more stuff to review because I put pressure on myself to try and grow a channel and to try to be known and to, you know, all of that. As far as feeling like pressured in a conventional sense, no. It's just more so like I've bought stuff that I don't necessarily need. I've probably definitely bought stuff I can't afford because I don't think you can afford it unless you're like completely debt free. Your house is paid off, your car is paid off, you know, like all these other things. So for sure, I probably bought stuff I couldn't afford, like on a technical level. But no, nothing I would ever say that I was like pressured into, no. Do you purchase makeup for collector reasons? No, I think that maybe there was a time like with Natasha Denona palettes or something like that I could have said, oh, I'm a collector, oh, I want them all, like Pokemon cards, gotta catch them all, like maybe in that sense, but no, I don't. If Natasha Denona came out with a palette tomorrow and I was like, ugh, I wouldn't buy it. Like, I wouldn't feel like I had to have it. For a minute there was also Pat McGrath, but again, I wasn't like, oh, I had to have them all. It was more like, oh, I like these 3 minis, or oh, I like this. And then I would kind of go through and rationalize with myself, and before I knew it, I didn't need them. So I guess no, I don't purchase for collector reasons at all. And then finally, number 13, in your makeup journey, have you become less or more consumeristic? And that one for me is easy. I've definitely become less consumeristic. And I think what's so sad is like thinking back to the last over 2 years of my channel, I hate thinking and knowing that I was definitely one of those like cogs in this gigantic wheel of consumerism that drove the makeup beauty community to just like blow up and all these makeup, and it became $1 trillion industry and blah, 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 and just, I hate realizing that I was one of those people that like helped facilitate that. I think my intentions were always in a good place, and they still are to this day. You know, I like to review makeup. I like talking about it. I'm glad that I am in a position where I can purchase it so you guys don't have to spend your money on garbage. And I'm glad that I have a way that I can explain and facilitate that message to you that's funny and it's entertaining and that you enjoy it and that we both get something out of it. But I definitely would say that in my time on YouTube, as well as my time just in general, I've become a lot less consumeristic. I think that in the way of clothing and like fashion and that sort of thing, I've maybe become a little more consumery, but that's more so because I've really started to come into my own and be positive about my body and be positive about myself. And with that just came a level of confidence and wanting to do plus size try on hauls and that sort of thing. And that for me isn't so much just consumerism as it is like feeling good. So I guess overall the resounding answer is I'm definitely less consumeristic than I was. I still could have a long way to go because ultimately you don't need any of this. So there's always a lot better you can do. I mean, I'm just really glad, I think, with how far I've come and the changes I've made. And I know that's not in any way like the point of this tag, but for me, if I have to round out like my beauty consumer tag of 2019, okay. I think I'm really happy and I'm really proud with where I'm at, and a lot of you guys can see a real difference. And this is kind of where I want to open the floor up to you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you want to answer one of these questions, all of them, if you want to do it in the comments, if you want to do it to yourself, anything like that. I just encourage people to really take their spending or to take their mindset when it comes to makeup and purchasing, whether it's makeup or not, and just kind of ask yourself these questions, because for me, I realized that I changed a lot, you know, since I went, and I've said it 100 times. I realized I've changed a lot in the last couple of months, but even more so when it comes to this, I didn't realize how much my opinions and my thoughts and all of that had changed from even a year ago to now until I did this. So I encourage you guys to take a look, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. I mean, what do you guys think? Can you see any of the stuff that I said? Like, does it reflect in me? Can you see it? Can you tell that I'm different now than I was a year ago? I don't know. Give me your thoughts and opinions overall. I'd love to hear from you down below per usual. If you haven't done so yet, you can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. Those are both, of course, linked in the description. But above all, if you have not subscribed and turn on your post notifications, please be sure to do that as well. I do upload 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in good old Northern Michigan. And you guys, thank you so much again for hanging out with me and for doing this. And I know it's different. Do you want to see more videos like this from me in the future? What are your thoughts and opinions? That right there is champagne toast, in case you're curious. I love the way it smells so much. As you can tell by the amount of lava inside of it, it's been burning for hours. So I am gonna go. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. There is a cat hair on my nose. There's a cat hair on my nose. I wish I could get rid of the cat hair on my nose, but it's there forever. Oh my God. And I think that that's one thing. I think that that's one thing. One ting or one thing, Paige? Okay. You know what I just realized? I really need to wash my brushes. I'm like looking over here like, oh, there's a couple of them that are busted and crusted. That's the situation. Especially my foundation brushes. Damn. You ever just feel like your face gets stuck? My face feels stuck. Why are you like this? What is wrong with you? Okay, Paige, at some point you just have to get up. There's no way around it. You can only dance for so long before you have to get up.